Erika Christensen sat down with health and wellness consultant Lauren Folan.
We're joined here today with Lauren Folan. So Lauren, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so happy to be here with you.
Right back at you.
Just wanted to ask you, what is it that you do and how did you get into what you do?
Yeah, that's like a loaded question. Everyone asks me what I do. And it's a lot of different things. I facilitate yoga, teach meditation, teach emotional intelligence, energy work, energy clearing, but basically cultivate a self-loving relationship with yourself. I lived a very standard corporate life. I was in the corporate world. I went to finance and business school, and that was my path. And I kind of hit this point of doing all of the things and checking all of the boxes, and I still wasn't happy. That dream that I was told wasn't really existing within. And that's when I found yoga, honestly. And I started to build this relationship with myself and cultivate this sense of self-love and appreciation and acceptance. And in that process, more joy, more abundance, more happiness came into my life. So I did a lot of different trainings, and I went to India, and I was strictly in yoga in the beginning. And then it kind of flourished to all of these other different modalities of energy healing and emotional intelligence, and basically finding peace within, where you feel gratitude and joy and happiness every day. And it's been a beautiful process, because in the beginning, or when I was younger, I never even knew. I thought I had it all. That's the crazy thing. I thought I was living the most fulfilled, happy life, and I did it all. And the emotions of love and joy that I can feel and create in my body and my being and in my days now is just tenfold. So it's been this whole process of journeying through a multitude of different things, from yoga to breath work to darkness retreats to plant medicine, to come back home to myself and shedding all of the layers and narratives and old patterns and behaviors, to come back to a sense of ease and regulation in my body, shifting out of survival and into a nourishing and nurturing place where I can live a rich life. So it was many, many different things in the past 10 years, I'll say, all rolled into one, and it gets wild and a lot of emotion and craziness in the mix. But now I help people do the same thing, kind of awaken up to their own true nature in this growth mindset, in this peaceful mindset, in this energetic expansion of who they are.
Now, with this whole journey that you've been on, would you agree that it's nearly impossible to improve on something unless you fully understand it?
Exactly. Awareness is key.
It's huge. It's huge. So with the awareness of that, the word mindfulness gets tossed around a lot, and some people understand it and some people don't understand it. What is mindfulness to you?
So mindfulness can be infused in every aspect of your life. And what the most basic definition in my book is, it's living intentionally and showing up every day in whatever you're doing in the moment as a present person. And even in my X amount of years of practicing this, I've been meditating daily for 7 years. I'm now really starting to understand and embody this sense of presence, because part of the big problem is we get stuck in knowing. And everybody knows what mindfulness is, and they can recite it, and they can tell you the practices and all of these things, but they don't go deeper within that, because then it goes from knowing, then it goes to feeling, and you feel in your body, and then you start to actually embody it, and every action you take is out of this place of open-heartedness and presence, and then you can create from it. But mindfulness in general is literally in this conversation, being here with you. And most of the times when we're in a conversation, you're still being like, oh, this, that, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna say next? What happened? Oh, what did I just say? All of these different things, but it's just being in this moment, noticing your sensations in your body, noticing the conversation, the energy of the person across from you, actually listening to what they say and holding space for that person, rather than being like, oh, I'm going to say this, or what should I tell them to do? Or even when people come to you with an issue or a problem, we love to give advice, but just listening. Mindfulness is listening to whatever is going on in the moment without getting caught in the past and not ruminating in the future. And it takes so much practice. Even something as simple as eating your food, you'll hear that over and over again. Can you eat your food in the entirety of you eating? Can you only think about the sensations of the food in your mouth? I'm going to tell you right now, no. I was practicing it the other day, and my head's going, oh, work, what should I do here? What am I going to do here? X, Y, Z. But that mindfulness is really just being present in the moment. And that's when the meditation comes in, because people think meditation is mindfulness. And yeah, if you want to group it in that, for sure. But meditation is the practice that trains the mind to live in the present moment. So when we meditate, we're creating space between thoughts, the ego, the higher self, whatever you want to call it, but we're creating space between the thoughts for you to just be present. And you're retraining your brain over and over and over and over again to be present in that moment. And it takes years because we've been so conditioned and so trained to live this life of doing, of moving, of shaking, of achieving, of performing, that we've thrown away this idea of being. And being mindful is just the energy of being present in the moment.
Yeah, I have a feel like I feel as though people have a very hard time just existing. And I know for me personally, it's something where I feel as though that I need to do something with my time. And I get into a place where I'm like, I don't have to do everything all the time. I can just exist. I can just be.
Exactly.
And with that statement, you know, it is very difficult to meditate. Some people cannot do it. So for those of us who are starting off with trying to figure out how to meditate, what are some ways for people to ease into that meditation to make it a little bit easier for them?
Yeah, that's the number one thing that people come to me with. I don't know how to meditate. I can't meditate.
Yeah.
The funny thing is there's no wrong way to meditate. There's no perfect position, and there's thousands of ways to do it. Everybody's looking for that secret sauce, that secret practice, that secret whatever it might be, and the secret is there is none. When we sit and be and the emotions start to arise, it becomes very uncomfortable. And that's a lot of the time why people have such a challenge meditating, because emotions starting to arise and they're so detached from being that it's uncomfortable and it's unusual. Perspective around meditation is your number one ally and friend, because A, there's no wrong way to meditate, and coming to the realization and awareness that, oh, there's no good or bad emotion. When we have that perspective and we just see everything as an experience in this life, that's when the heart starts to open. That's when the presence can start to come in, and that's when the being and stillness starts to cement in your neural pathways.
Right.
But for tips, it's giving yourself the chance and the space to just know that there's no wrong way to do it. Start with guided meditation. If someone's like, I can't meditate, listen to a guided meditation and just try to follow the guided words the entire time. Because all you're doing in meditation is you're focusing on one thing, then you're getting distracted. Then you're aware that you're distracted, and you come back and you focus on the thing again. Say it's the breath. You're focusing on the inhale and exhale. Try right now to focus on the inhale and exhale for a minute. You're going to go nuts. You're going to be like, oh, this is boring. Your mind's going to be like, this isn't fun. But that's the practice. So focus on one thing. You're going to get distracted. You're going to be a million miles away at the grocery store with your kids, or the fight that you had, or all the plans you want to do, or what you need to do for work. And then you're going to become aware where you're not focusing on your point, and you come back to that point. And that's going to happen over and over and over and over again. But with the more practice, the spaces between you getting distracted get bigger. Most people will meditate 5 minutes once, and then they'll be like, can't do it, don't know how to do it, my mind was all over the place. Yeah, that's the point of it. It's like, you're not going to go to the gym and try to lift 250 pounds. I don't even know if that's a heavy weight or not, but I'm assuming it is.
Pushing over your head, yeah.
I can't even lift the bar, I don't think. We'll see. But you have to be consistent, 10 to 20 minutes a day. Show up for a month straight and allow yourself to have no distractions. Tell your family, tell your friends that you're taking your time wherever it might be. Set your space wherever it is. Put music on, binaural beats, theta brainwaves, anything like that to help you, because it's all about brainwave state. That's what meditation is. It's bringing you from alpha down to theta, and the music helps with that process. When I first started meditating, I kept a journal of how I felt during my meditation and then how I felt in my life. And that was super helpful for me as well. It was this process of my meditation. I read back and it's like my mind was all over the place. But in my life, I had more patience. I could sit longer. I wasn't getting anxious. I wasn't getting frustrated. And it's not what happens in the meditation that's important. It's what's happening outside in your life, and that's where the changes will occur. But it's showing up every day.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the hardest part for everybody, especially where they might feel as though, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And that brings in that fear-based mindset of how do you break out of that hamster wheel of, I want to do this, but I can't do this. I need to do this, but how do I do this? So how does somebody break out of that unfortunate cycle?
And that's where it gets multi-layered into all of the other things, right? I always say start with meditation, but to break out of the hamster wheel and the cycle, the work gets deeper and you start to shift different paradigms and different narratives that you've had your whole life, these belief systems that aren't yours. And that comes with all of this different type of inner work where you're kind of figuring out why you are the way you are. So you're showing up to your meditation, you're getting in these beautiful places and doing the subconscious reprogramming of these beliefs that you identify. But then you're also clearing trauma, emotion, energy that's telling you can't do something. Because if you're saying you can't meditate, you're also saying, I can't open the business. I can't raise a family. It's a reflection across all of these other things in your life. So what is the root cause of you feeling like you can't? So this is where the emotional intelligence comes in, of cultivating a relationship with yourself and figuring out why you are the way you are and the emotions that you have and what you're repressing, what's you're holding on to, and what needs to be cleared. And once you really start to do journaling or the shadow work, or you go to these breathwork experiences and just give yourself the permission to feel and release energy, that's when more peace and stillness come into your mind, and the meditation and the work goes hand in hand. And as you do this beautiful process, your awareness in general expands, your consciousness expands, and you have deeper insights, deeper wisdom about yourself and the reality that you live in.
Now, before we wrap up here, you had mentioned intention and being with yourself in that moment. In just a few words, how does someone set an intention?
It's the most simple thing ever. Wherever you are, what is the energy you want to bring to something? Your intention could be like, I want to have a fun and exciting day. And you bring that energy, that intention, that belief that you're creating into everything that you do. When we wake up in the morning, we're like, okay, I'm going to go take a shower. And we're in the shower thinking about brushing our teeth, thinking about what we're going to dress, what we're going to have to eat. When we're eating, we're thinking about work. When we're at work, we're thinking about vacation. When we're on vacation, we're thinking about work. Like, we're not intentionally living ever. But when you're showing up to work and you're like, okay, I'm going to focus on what I'm doing, and I'm going to bring more gratitude because I'm going to take action from an open heart rather than fear, and be grateful for this beautiful job that's supporting me and helping me support my family, XYZ. But it's the most simple thing of changing your perspective. Perspective is everything. Awareness is everything. And your intention is just your perspective. And your energy flows. Your reality is created by what your intention is and where your attention goes. So if your attention is on your anxiety, the world ending, the structures crumbling down, that's what's going to be magnified in your life. But if you're waking up every day and being like, I'm going to live fully, I'm going to live in gratitude in everything that you do, you're like, okay, how can I be grateful for this food? Okay, how can I be grateful for my job? Okay, how can I be grateful for the person sitting in front of me? The energy is automatically going to shift to that. So we love to overcomplicate everything, and people do it with meditation, and they do it with things like intention. The practice of meditation comes in is when your attention goes to all of the million things that could go wrong, come back to what could go right. And when you catch yourself going to all the million things that could go wrong, come back to what could go right. And that's the meditation of your life, because your whole life is your medicine. It's this beautiful thing.
Yeah, that's an incredible way of thinking about it, of just coming back to what could go right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this has been such an informative interview, so I really appreciate you coming down and talking to me, and hopefully our viewers got some really great tidbits of information. I know I did, so hopefully they did too, but really love having you come down. Would love to talk to you again at another point. But
for sure, I could talk about this for like days.
Yes. Thank you, Lauren.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw and want to stay up to date with our latest content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to make sure you never miss out on the amazing discussions, insights, and entertainment we bring your way. And hey, if you find value in today's video, be sure to give a thumbs up by smashing that like button. We'll see you next time.